Hey, have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When CJ and I were trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps that people like to listen to? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use too. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. We use Anchor because we live over an hour away and it brings us together as if we're in the same room. The sound quality is better than Skype and more reliable too. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing so, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join us and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
We will not be held responsible for any hearing impairments or damage caused to you from excessive exposure to this sound.
Hey CJ, remember that one time?
Oh yeah, it was fucking epic.
You're listening to
Remember That One Time.
the Inappropriate Storytime Podcast.
And these are not your mama's fairy tales.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Remember That One Time with your host.
And CJ,
And today we're going to go over some travel stories.
let's see. Okay, so this isn't really, well, I mean, we traveled, but we didn't travel very far. So me and our friend Tabby Cat went to the Jack Daniel's barbecue invitational. It's like this
Is that a golf game?
no, it's like it's a barbecue invitational. Like it's a barbecue cook-off.
The verb, not the noun.
Yeah, like you just, it's a bunch of people that are like insanely good at making barbecue, and they all have to be like, they win other contests in their area, and then like they get, it's like the world championship. Like people
Well, how
come
did you
from-
guys get a VIP
No,
invite?
we were not participating. We were just spectators. We were there to eat. We were just there to eat. So it's down in Lynchburg, by the distillery. It's a huge tourist thing for the city. And so we were like, okay, it sounds like fun. There's going to be a shit ton of barbecue. There's going to be like a bunch of people. There's like vendors. There's a band. There's all kinds of cool stuff. And so we're like, okay, let's go. And so we get down there, and I mean, this is a town that's so incredibly small. I can't even tell you how small it is. And they have all of the people that are going to this. I mean, it's an outdoor event. There's vendors and all kinds of stuff set up on their square, but they have everybody park at the school, and then they bring Greyhound buses in, and they'll like bus everybody down to the square area, and then they'll bus you back when you're ready to go back to your car. So in normal CJ fashion, I took a Yeti and I filled it up with booze, because if I'm going to be walking around, my fat ass eating barbecue all day, I'm going to be drinking too. So I got my little Yeti cup. We get on the Greyhound bus, and we're in the like very first, it's rows of two. So the very first two seats on the passenger side, and I'm in the aisle seat. And our seat is the only one that has like a little platform in front of it, and it's got cup holders. So I put my Yeti in the cup holder, and all these people are getting on the bus, and so we're going. So he throws it in drive, and he's driving and, bouncing around and everything, and he makes a turn. He makes it, I mean, in my defense, he made that turn a little too fast. Like, he was a little vigorous about it. So he whips this giant ass bus into a 90-degree turn, and
Jesus.
my Yeti cup flies out of my cup holder and hits him in the head. The driver hits the driver of the bus in the head with this giant. Yeah. And I mean, as if that wasn't bad enough. Sorry, y'all. I'm sick again. I'm losing my voice. as if that wasn't bad enough, everybody on the bus starts chanting, "It's all your fault. It's all your fault." I guess there's just like a bunch of hockey fans on the bus.
Nice.
I don't know what really brought that on. Somebody
Okay.
started saying it, and everybody
have-
else just jumped on.
I have to make a confession. When I was reading through our notes this morning, you had written here, CJ put her silver bullet cup, and I didn't know what that means. I don't know what's a fucking Yeti. When I saw silver bullet cup, I thought it was like some sort of container to hold your small vibrator. And I was like, you
No.
hit a bus driver with your vibrator.
That would have been an even funnier story, but no, unfortunately, I didn't. I just call it a silver bullet cup because it's silver and it looks like a bullet. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't
Creative.
know. It kept my booze cold, and that's really all that mattered. So, but yeah, it was a little embarrassing with everybody on a Greyhound bus shouting at you that it's all your fault. It was,
But
yeah.
me the first time.
I mean, I was drunk, so it didn't really matter, I guess.
Right.
So, I mean, I just threw that in there. I felt like it was a funny story and it should be in there, but I mean, the reality of it is that was only like 30 miles from home. So, I don't really know if that counts as traveling, but it's a funny story. So, I'm going to say it counts. I actually got a couple of little short stories from some other listeners / friends. So I had a friend that went to Fort Myers Beach for a little weekend vacation or whatever, and I guess he made the mistake of going during spring break. I mean, you should have known, buddy. Like, you should have done your research. Like, it's spring break, you're going to a beach. What do you expect? It's going to be full of college kids. Everybody's going to be drunk. I mean, it sounds like a great time to me, but whatever. So, he's already getting annoyed with all these people. It's just like super, super packed. And he said there's like this group of like just complete frat boys next to him. And they're all just acting a fool. They're smacking random girls' asses as they go by, just being dudes. And so one of them is just completely belligerent. And he runs out into the ocean, he jumps in, he goes underwater, and then he comes back up, and he's got kind of like long, shaggy hair. And so he comes up and he does like the hair flip to make the water go all over the place. And he flips his hair up and water goes everywhere. And he goes, "Let's do more cocaine." Just
Wow.
shouts it out to the whole entire beach. I was like, whoa, dude, get
That's
on his
intense.
level. Yeah. So that was a listener story. And speaking of cruises, I've got a friend that went on a cruise, and he was, I guess, I'm not really hip on cruise lingo yet. Maybe check back, next episode. I'll probably know all the cool things to say. But whatever the deck is called, that's on the very top, where like the pool is and all that shit.
The party deck. What?
The Lido deck. I don't know. Something like that. He was up at the very top where all the partying was going on. And I don't know really why he had his passport with him. Like, to me, that's something you should probably leave in your room, but he didn't. And he had his passport in his hand and he had a drink in the other hand. And I guess he was like telling a really like animated story, and he threw his hands up and ended up throwing his passport into the ocean. Like,
Wow.
sink to the bottom, like Heart of the Ocean style, all the way down, like it's gone.
Well, I hope you like living in Ecuador.
You fucked. It is gone.
Right.
Like, you're going to have to sneak back into the US. I don't know what he did. I was like, oh my God, you're so screwed.
So we've decided, I say we, it's usually my travel partners are my husband and little sister. And we do these little weekend trips. He's got this thing called the Cup of Adventures, where you have a die and then you have a cup with little slips of paper with all different directions on it. One of us rolls the die, and that will tell us how many hours we're driving, and the other one will pick a paper out of the cup, and that'll tell us what direction. So, for example, the last time we turned to the Cup of Adventures, we ended up in Little Rock, Arkansas, because we drew 5 hours southwest. And so that's where we ended up, was in Little Rock. But
Mhm.
we do this kind of, I don't want to say really often, but when we have like birthdays or just 3-day weekends and stuff to get away, we go do little things. Well, one of the things in Little Rock we did recently, another thing is when we do the Cup of Adventures, we draw the information, but then my husband completely plans everything. He doesn't tell us anything that we're doing. It's a complete surprise till the moment we pull up.
Yes.
Yes, and the very first thing that he did in Little Rock, we pulled up, like, we're going down Main Street, and I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be like this really eclectic restaurant or some store or something. And no, it is the Purse Museum that shows like fashion and feminism from the 1800s to 1990s. And
Classy.
yeah, it was actually pretty cool because it had like, not only did it have the purses themselves, but like some common contents that would be in the purses, and that like included condoms and cigarettes and hairpins and anything else that you can
Nice.
imagine. Yeah, it was really cool because it kind of showed, it was like a history of women through the ages through their purses. Where and how he found that, I have no idea.
Hmm.
That's not usually something that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Little Rock and look at purses.
Right?
Yeah, it
I
was.
mean, it's too bad that they only went up to the 90s. Like, if they did the early 2000s, I feel like it would be like a row of like the little Dooney and Burke purses, the vinyl ones.
Oh
And then
yeah,
inside, you'd find like a Motorola Razor and like, I don't know, like
yeah,
some of those gel pens that smell,
I
something like
love those.
that.
Yeah, they
I miss
stopped.
those.
I know they stopped at the '90s, I think, but there was still stuff looking at the '90s ones where I was like, yep, totally had that in my backpack.
Right?
Yeah, because I don't think we were carrying a purse in the '90s yet. Um, a few years back, we went to for my husband's birthday. I decided to take him up to Cave City, Kentucky. Now, CJ knows all about Cave City, but
I
hasn't
love
been
me some
there.
Cave City.
Yeah, it's a little different since the last time she went, though. We were expecting a lot more touristy stuff, but honestly, I kind of like it better the way it is because everything is deserted. Everything's deserted, and it looks just so eerie, kind of. There was,
I mean, it's fine. My 11-year-old self is still at the tram on Guntown Mountain.
well, Guntown Mountain doesn't really exist anymore.
Well, it's called Froggett's Guntown Mountain now, and it looks like complete bullshit.
Yeah, it wasn't even open when we went. It's Go do some research on Guntown slash Funtown slash Froggets. Go do some research because it's an interesting read. There's been some ownership changes, and like the original owner was batshit crazy, and it's been
Yeah,
in.
but the original owner had it set up awesome. It was called Guntown Mountain, and you go up there, and it's a Wild West city, and they had a saloon and a shootout in the street, and it was awesome. And then everybody came in, and they were like, "Oh, you can't say gun. You can't have shootouts in the street." I'm like, "You bullshit motherfuckers are taking away all my childhood fun."
Well, like I said, it wasn't even open when we went, so that is check one off your list.
Bullshit.
Right. Well, one that we did thoroughly enjoy though was Dinosaur World. You see that
Yes.
gigantic dinosaur off the side of the interstate, and you're like, I'm going to go there someday. I had always dreamed of going to this place. It's like $10 a person. So we get in, and it's completely dated. You can tell it was made in the 80s. And we expected it to be some sort of like, I don't know, I don't even like, kind of like how a zoo is set up almost. Like there's some sort of,
Order to things.
yeah, some sort of or
Exhibit
yeah,
something.
something like that. But instead, it's literally just a trail through the backwoods, and Okay, imagine if somebody just stuck paper mache dinosaurs in the back 40 acres of someone's yard. That's it. Like, you're just walking through the woods with these random dinosaurs just placed wherever.
Oh.
There's no information about them. You're not learning anything. It's almost like an art installation. Like someone
Oh,
just
I thought it was
decided,
like I thought there'd be like some big like a science museum or something. Like there'd be like all these like assembled, you know, not maybe not actual fossils, but replica dinosaur fossils assembled, and with all kinds of informational learning stuff and maybe
no.
like something for kids.
No, they're
Like,
like they're life size, but they really do look like shitty paper mache. They look
oh
like
my God,
a science fair project from 4th grade.
bless it.
But that is kind of what makes it awesome though, cuz it's so ridiculous. We're like,
You're like, I kind of low key want my $10 back.
"No, I'll give you another $10 like if you'll let me sit on this one." Dude, there was one that looked straight up like a penis. I'll have to put it on the website cuz I refer to it as Dickosaurus because that's exactly what it looks like.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love it.
so that was there was that. There's Kentucky Down Under is up there too. And give that a shot. That's really cool. You get to like sit in the Australia Down Under part or whatever, the walkabout, I guess is what it's
Mhm.
called. But you can just come up and like pet baby joeys in their mom's pouch.
Aw.
Yeah, like you can pet the kangaroos and love on them. And they had the friendliest emu in the world that just came up and like put her little emu head on my shoulder and was like, "Love me." I'm like,
Love me.
yeah, you can't say no to a begging emu. And they also had, I don't know if you've ever seen like God, I don't know what they're called. A wallaby. Is it a wallaby? I don't know. It looked like a guinea pig, but was the size of like a 30-pound dog.
Mhm.
They were fucking huge. I was like, the fuck is
Oh
that?
my
It's the biggest
God.
rabbit I've ever seen. And they were like, nah, man, that's I don't know, wallaby or some shit. I don't know. It was scary looking.
Aw.
Yeah.
Now I want to go there.
Yes, and you can just like sit there and all the animals will come to you and love on you and you can go love on all of them. It is
Oh.
the best. So
You can go there and be like the Mary Poppins of animals.
exactly. And they've got a really nice lorikeet enclosure too, where you can go in and feed the birds and they will all land on you and eat their nectar. It's yummy.
anytime I hear, anytime I think of birds, a bunch of birds landing on a person, I always think of that scene in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, where the old homeless lady in Central Park and all the birds like flock on her and everything. And it's just like terrifying. She's like this massive bird lady and she's like covered in garbage.
Hashtag goals.
Yeah. That's literally automatically what I think
That's funny.
whenever I think of like multiple birds. I think of that image.
I want multiple birds.
You have multiple birds.
I need a multitude. I need them all to multiply.
Oh
I
my
mean, they're
God.
both boys and one is old and I'm pretty sure he's gay, but whatever. All right.
I mean, he's like old enough. He's probably like, I don't think he can reproduce anymore.
I don't know. I'm not willing to give him a shot though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not. Let's not try that.
Right? Well, so once we left Cave City, another common destination that especially my husband loves is Gatlinburg. That whole area is so chock full with ridiculous shit. But
Yes.
of all of the ridiculousness that it has to offer, the number one that you cannot miss is the Jurassic Jungle Boat ride. That
Never even
thing
heard of that.
You've never even heard of it? Oh my God. It
No.
is the best thing in the entire city. So you'll notice it by like it's huge and it says across the top Jurassic Jungle Boat Ride. And when you approach it, there are these mannequins that are set up to look like they're standing in line. Like
Oh.
yeah, there's a lot of places in Gatlinburg that do that. They like set mannequins up so that you're driving by and you're like, "Oh, look, there's a line. That must be, something really cool. We're going to stop there." And like you go to tap on their shoulder or something, and no, it's a mannequin. You've done bamboozled.
That's actually pretty smart.
I know, it kind of is. And so that's the first thing you notice when you come and you see the mannequins. And then there's usually pigeons like perched up on the thing because Pigeon Forge is a thing. But you get in this little boat and it opens the doors, you go in, and they have got these animatronics from like the 70s that are falling apart, like the quote unquote skin is falling off of them. They
Ew.
make these like weird jerky motions instead of like smoothly turning to look at you. The sound is like you can tell the speakers are dying because instead of a roar, it's like
Oh my God.
it sounds so.
Don't ever do that again. That's the fucking stuff of nightmares.
It was awful. And like,
If I ever hear that sound in the middle of the night in the dark, I'm literally just gonna start shooting.
right, I'm gonna start shitting. It's awful. The best part about it though is towards the end, there is this giant pterodactyl, and it is holding, no joke, a baby. Like, I don't know why. It's this like naked, real doll infant that I guess was like kidnapped by this pterodactyl. But I'm like, the fuck is this?
Kidnapped. He did those parents a favor.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Kidding, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. So yeah, this is a Jurassic Jungle Boat ride. We go every time. It's kind of expensive. It's like $24 a person.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's stupid expensive, but if you want something completely lame and hilarious, hit that up.
All right. I guess
Yeah.
I'll add that to my list.
There you go. Now, if you think that like sound was terrifying, I've got one up. Now, we've never been here, but it's on our list, and we have looked at brochures of it, and it looks so weird and scary. It is the Cabbage Patch Baby Farm.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It is in Georgia, and it's like when I'm talking, there's like some sort of hard something between my nose and my throat, and it's like scratching. I'm like, ugh. Anyway.
It's called a dick.
Ugh. Fuck you. Oh God. Anyways, this Cabbage Patch Baby Farm thing, you actually go down there instead of buying a Cabbage Patch doll, you go pick one out and then you get to watch it be born out of this
What?
tree.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you.
This
Yeah.
is not real.
Yes, it is. Oh my God. Hang on.
You pick a doll to be born out of a tree? How is that even?
Yeah, it's
What?
called, hang on, I'm pulling it up right now online. It's called Babyland General Hospital Tour. Yeah. At Cabbage Patch. It is located, bam, like this thing is so creepy looking. Babyland General Hospital is in Cleveland, Georgia. It is the birthplace of the Cabbage Patch Kids, located in Cleveland, Georgia. This guy converted an old clinic into a facility from which to sell his dolls. It's presented as a birthing, nursery, and adoption center for premium Cabbage Patch Kids.
Premium?
Yeah.
As opposed to regular?
I guess. Yeah, it's literally a birthing center for dolls. If that's not the most terrifying thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
That sounds literally like the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, and it's like this old clinic. It looks like something straight out of Gone with the Wind. It's like this grand Georgia mansion that is now,
So, what's the purpose of all this?
To sell Cabbage Patch Kids to rich people, I guess.
And then they go watch them be born out of a tree?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I gotta look this up for myself when we're done. What's it called again?
It's called Babyland General Hospital.
Oh my God, That's literally so scary.
Yeah. I'm trying to find where, like, Ethan looked up and it kind of, like, gave you an. Let's see. Oh, the carpetbagger. That's cool. Babyland. Freakiest place on earth. Here
Yeah,
we
it
go.
sounds like it. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put like a. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put pictures from this website up. Bookmark. This is awesome. Let's see here. So yeah, there's actual cabbages with heads in them. Just
Oh my God, what the
cabbages
fuck
with
is wrong with
heads.
people?
Yeah.
I don't, something about
Okay.
Cabbage Patch dolls have always freaked me out. They're like right up there with Raggedy Anns and
Right.
clowns. Like, just fucking weird.
Yeah, it's not just like a store. They sell one of a kind designer Cabbage Patch dolls that will range from $300 to $600 a pop.
So it's like American Girl dolls, like
Kind of.
fancy schmancy
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, they can have them made to like look just like you. You know what I could see happening are those people that like can't have kids but are like completely obsessed with having a kid, and instead of adoption, like they're not all the way there in their brain. Like no person is going to give them an actual human baby, but they want a baby, so you like take them to the hospital and have their baby born and hand it to them. Like that's what I think this is catered for.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This it was an actual closed down hospital. It utilized some of the old hospital equipment. Like they're preemie dolls in incubators.
Oh my God. This is literally giving me the heebie jeebies.
Yeah.
I
Uh
can't.
made one only adult Cabbage Patch, and her name is Mrs. Cabbage. The
Fuck
main
that,
event,
dude. Can you imagine just like seeing a full size Cabbage Patch doll just walking around
right?
in a fucking 1800s abandoned hospital?
Oh God. The main event is the chance to see a real live Cabbage Patch birth. Behold, the magic crystal tree.
Get out. What the fuck?
Yeah, let's see here. Every so often, an announcement blares over the PA that Mother Cabbage is dilated and ready to give birth.
God, this is so gross.
Anticipation builds as Dr. John Cabbage appears under the magic crystal tree. He is wearing full scrubs, I shit you not. I have got to link this website.
About ready for a tree to give birth
Yeah. Then the
to
magic
a
begins.
Cabbage Patch doll.
Yes. Dr. Cabbage launches into his spiel. As he delivers the cabbage baby, he lets forth an unrelenting onslaught of cabbage based puns.
What the fuck?
Mother Cabbage's chlorophyll count is normal. Luckily, the baby is not born feet first, or that would be a branch delivery. The baby.
You're literally making this up. This
No.
cannot be real.
The babies have ears because an intern planted a row of corn close to the cabbage patch. Get it? Ears of corn?
Oh my God. I can't.
Yeah. They've never performed a C-section. Cabbage section. Oh my God. And then, emerging from the cabbage leaves, a child is born into this world. This doctor straight up picks it up from its feet and like swaddles it like a baby. There is a video on this website of the miracle of life.
Please link that.
I'm putting this in
Please
every
link
bit
all
of
of that. Link the website, link the video, post the pictures. I'm gonna need everything.
Yes, this is going on all of our social media immediately.
Okay, whenever you decide to go on that trip, I kind of do want to see that, like, just to go and make fun of people.
Right? Like I low-key want to take you with me. Like on
Oh,
the
I'm
times,
going.
right?
I'm going with you.
This is what we should do when Ethan and sister are in New York City. We should go down to Babyland.
Where is this place again?
It's in Georgia.
Like day trip kind of Georgia, or
I
like?
don't know. I
Dude.
haven't. We'll have to look into it.
Yes.
But yeah, that would be amazing. Let's see. We all enjoyed Babyland for a different reason. My wife enjoys all the nostalgia. My daughter enjoys the dolls. My son hates this place. Oh, there's this poor kid is like sitting amongst the Cabbage Patch dolls, and he looks like he's gonna murder his entire family.
Oh my God.
God. Oh, they've got a gift shop too. You can get
Oh
a
yeah, so you
Babyland.
can take a cabbage home with you.
Well, not just that. You can get a Babyland shot glass. Because nothing
Yeah,
says birth of a Cabbage Patch doll like taking shots.
I'm gonna need to take shots after this.
Right?
The fuck?
Oh my God. So a few years ago, they moved out of the old hospital and into a shiny new facility. These people attended the grand opening that they did at Easter.
What?
Yeah. Oh my God. They have a giant Cabbage Patch Kid stalking the premises. Oh my God.
It literally just gets worse.
Yeah, they added some slightly unsettling animatronic dolls as well. There's videos of that.
Yikes.
They did keep their bread and butter with Mother Cabbage and the Magic Crystal Tree, though. But they hired a younger, better looking Dr. Cabbage. So there's that.
Wow. Because John Cabbage Sr. has retired.
I guess so. This is
Wow.
amazing. And I am bookmarking that immediately. And we are. I love it.
I can't. That's so weird.
That makes me so happy. Okay, so now that we've went down that whole thing, the only last thing I have is our other trip to Arkansas, which was Hot Springs instead of Little Rock. And Hot Springs, guess what that has to offer? A shit ton of hot springs that I was not brave enough to go like hang out in the hot springs with other people. So instead, we went and saw a magic show that was in the back of this building with folding chairs. Yeah, it was really kind of lame. And then
It sounds like it.
yeah, it was lame, but there was a really cool like oddities shop next to it that had like, the half fish, half man Fiji mermaid stuff that is like
old retired sideshow stuff from
yeah,
an old carnival.
exactly. It had a bunch of that stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Huh.
But the tour de force of Hot Springs, Arkansas is the Hot Springs Aquarium that's right there on the main drag. This aquarium has a gigantic tortoise that just roams the floor. I mean, don't step on it, don't sit on it, but he's just chilling. He can like eat your shoe.
The floor, as in like he's just walking around loose.
Yeah, just loose.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this giant ass tortoise. Just chilling. And it was like $2 a person to get in. And their aquarium are literally 10-gallon aquariums sitting on tables with like little fish in them. It's like your 7-year-old niece's fish tank, but all lined up on tables. Half of them have like algae all over them. You're
Gross.
like, yeah, I was like, this is only worth $2 for the story I get to tell later and for that turtle that I'm totally gonna pet.
Right?
Yeah.
What the hell?
If it weren't for the giant tortoise, I would have asked for my money back. But I'm gonna just say that we paid $2 to pet a giant tortoise.
I'd pay $2 to pet a tortoise.
Right? Especially a free roaming one. You're like, me and the husband and sister looked at each other and all had the same thought of like, do you think all three of us could pick this up and will it fit in the car?
Can we just leave with it?
Right? I mean, nobody else was there. I guess because all the locals are like, no, I'm not going to go see Miss Betty's fish tanks. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
But she sure roped us in, heckin' bamboozled.
Heckin' bamboozled.
Yep. So
it.
so far, that's where we are for our really weird ass destinations, but there are more to come.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more story and then I have a summary of my thoughts.
Oh Lord, what did we learn?
No, but it's right before the what we learned segment.
Fun.
So this was probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my sister were driving back from Michigan, and we stopped at a rest stop to use the bathroom. And this was like just outside Detroit, like just south of Detroit. So this 4-door Cadillac pulls up, and no joke, it exactly matches the description of the one that Jimmy Hoffa was last seen in. No jokes.
Wow.
This dude gets out. He's wearing a fedora. He's literally wrapping up his bloody knuckles with ace bandages. Not kidding. You cannot make this up. I'm not kidding. He's wrapping his knuckles, wearing a fedora. He's walking across the parking lot, and he goes over to this other dude that's driving this equally big ass car. It's like a big ass boat. And so he's got a black briefcase, and the other guy has an envelope. He gives the black briefcase to the guy with the envelope. The guy with the envelope gives it to him. He walks back to his Cadillac, continues wrapping his bloody knuckles, and drives off. I'm like, what the fuck did I just see?
You just saw a mob boss after the kill.
Like, what the hell? What was it? I want to know what was in the briefcase. What was in the envelope?
It was Jimmy Hoffa's remains.
I don't think there's anything left of Jimmy Hoffa.
You did a whole research paper on
I
that.
did. If anybody's an expert on Jimmy Hoffa, it's me.
I was going to say, if anyone knows where he is, it's you.
Yeah, I know exactly where he is.
Yeah.
He is no longer, because he got put through that crematorium. He's just ashes in the bottom of a, what do they call that thing?
The river?
Incinerator.
Oh.
No, he's ashes in the bottom of an incinerator.
Oh, so he's not married. He's not buried under, like,
Fenway Park.
Or Fenway Park or whatever?
No, he's not. No, and they dug up that house. The guy said that he was buried under the pool in some house in suburban Detroit. They dug it up. He ain't there either. So.
Well, damn. He's hanging out with Elvis and Tupac.
Right. So anyway, my summary of thoughts is when we were, deciding on doing this episode and talking about all of our traveling stories, I just got to thinking, like, remember, well, we don't really remember. It was even back before our day, but like back in the day, like in the 60s and 70s, like going to the airport was, yeah, back in the 60s, going to the airport was like an event. Like, people dressed up to go to the airport. Like, they wore their best outfits. They put on a bunch of makeup.
Since when? I don't remember this, but
yeah, back in the day, like when it first became like, customary to just like get on a plane and go, like, for leisure, like for a family vacation.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. And look at all the Pan Am stewardesses.
Yeah. I mean, like, it was a thing. Like, you dressed up to go to the airport and get on a plane. Like, you were looking good. And like, nowadays, it's like the airport has seen you in worse shape than the gas station closest to your house. Like, one time I took a red eye to Detroit for a family reunion, and I came down with strep throat a few hours before takeoff. Much like right now, I'm about to leave for a week-long vacation and I'm sick. So I came down with strep a few hours before, and I mean, I didn't cancel. I still showed up. I looked like I just came from a drug deal. My makeup was like 2 days old. I was wearing a baggy shirt with holes in it, like the works. And like, I still wanted to have a touch of bougie, so I ate airport sushi before we left, and I sat at the airport bar drinking while simultaneously like hacking up phlegm like I am now and like spitting it into my cocktail napkin. But like, I mean, I looked a mess. I looked disgusting, and I was just thinking, like, this would not have flown back then.
No pun intended.
Right. But yeah, like, they were all dressed up, they're wearing their, the men were in suits and the women were in their little skirts or their dresses and heels and pantyhose. And here I am, like, I wear more clothes to go to bed than I was wearing. It was I don't even know if I was wearing shorts or pants. It was probably just a baggy shirt, and that's it.
Well, yeah, try dressing up like in your to the nines now and showing up to the airport and see how many people look at you like you've got 5 heads.
Right. They're like, oh, where's the Kardashians?
Right? Where's this fancy bitch think she's going?
Right? She
Good.
probably got like 9 suitcases with her.
Nice. Was that it that you've got?
That's all I've got
Oh,
until next time, because I'm going on that cruise. I'm sure I'll come back with stories.
Oh, you better. That's awesome. Well, what did you learn this episode?
I learned that, like, I thought Cabbage Patch Kids were already scary, but apparently there's like a whole other world of them. Like, they have their own world, and I didn't even know it.
Yep. And similarly, I learned that we're going to go on a trip to see where Cabbage Patch Kids are born, and we're going to do it soon.
Yes.
Yep.
Like next month soon.
Hopefully. We're working on it.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll have to broadcast live on Facebook Live. Like, we'll have to live stream a birth.
Yes.
That just sounds so awful.
I'm totally on board for that.
Amen. Okay. Well, until next time, remember that shit.
Remember that shit.
Yeah, remember that. Remember to always say yes to adventures, for they become stories, and in the end, that's all we are.
Peace.
This concludes our broadcast day. Good night, and God bless America.